5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Unimaginary Friendcast. This is live stream, episode number 270. It's a conversation with your best friends, and we are your best friends.
I am Nathan Von Edmondson.
I am Aaron Marie, Betty Davis Jr.
And I am DavidMonster.com.
All right, and today we have a very special guest joining us shortly. His name is Crypto Gus. He's an expert in cryptocurrency, which is one of the hottest topics out there at the moment. He's going to take us through this very complicated topic. I know we all have many burning questions for him, including how do we get rich as soon as possible? We're looking forward to digging into this, but first. Breaking news. David, what's your news?
Okay, I'm sorry to start off with such a serious news topic, but vaccines. Everybody in the world is being pressed against them, pressed to get them. It's very serious time right now, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there are many countries that haven't even started, and other first world countries like Japan are only at 1 to 5%. But there's something we all should know as Americans that we have overlooked.
What?
People don't realize the first vaccinations in this country, starting in 1721 with smallpox in Boston. And then even in France with Louis Pasteur, he started vaccinating for cholera and rabies in 1879 and 1885. What we need to know is all those people who got the first vaccinations, all of them, every single one of them is now dead.
What do you mean just because it's been 200 years?
Oh, okay. Good spin there, Aaron. I guess that you're one of the cattle, but okay. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
So that is what you meant. It wasn't
That's
like
my
they
news.
died, but it wasn't like they died a year later. Right?
They're dead now.
Okay.
They're dead now. All of them dead.
Pick up what you're putting down, David.
Thank you.
You are dangerous.
Oh, it's terrible.
Thank you.
I imagine that someday I'll be dead too now.
Yeah. Did you get the vaccine?
I
There you
did.
go. There you go.
If you listened 2 weeks ago, our last episode, I had just gotten the Pfizer vaccine the night before, and I was feeling absolutely terrible that day. But look at me now. It's like it didn't even happen. I feel great.
Yay.
Yeah. Nathan, do you have news?
I do. I was just grabbing my phone to look at my, I figure it ties into our topic today. I did my first cryptocurrency purchase.
Woo.
And I bought Bitcoin, and I've lost nearly 50% of its value.
Oh, no. When did you buy it?
Right when it was at its highest, when Bitcoin was at its highest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you did the right thing. You're supposed to buy low and sell high. No, buy high and sell low. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Well, it does tie into our theme a lot today. I'm sorry to hear that you got taken for a spin.
Taken for a ride.
Maybe Crypto Gus can give you some tips and pointers.
Now's the time to buy.
Is it?
Probably.
Oh, okay. All right, my turn. So I, for the first time in my entire career on social media. You okay, David?
Nothing happened. I almost got killed. One of the studio lights fell on me. Keep going. Shh, I didn't do anything.
Well, I have to start over now because my news is so important.
Sorry, go ahead.
So for the first time in my entire social media career, I posted a story and I've gone completely viral.
Can you explain what a story is?
Well, I had to do a little research because I didn't even know how to post a photo to a story when I first started. But on Instagram, they have, I don't know, what is a story? It's like a little clip that's at the top of the screen. It goes away in 24 hours. Why is everyone laughing? What else is it? What am I missing?
Only people over 60 need to know what a story is. Everybody else already knows. Go ahead.
It's so funny you say that because someone over 60 texted me today saying, oh my God, I was watching your story and it disappeared so fast. How do I find it? So I had to screenshot it and walk them through how to go back and find the story. But anyway,
Oh, how funny.
I posted days leading up to the big story. First of all, I needed to know if people wanted me to post a story. And so I had a poll and everyone did. So then I had to figure out what my story was going to be about. So I had 2 polls with 4 different choices and I got it narrowed down. And then I had a countdown where I had to prepare everything, frantically getting everything together. And I posted my story today. And I've just been blowing up. I basically broke the internet. So
Wow, what are you at? How many views?
I'm not sure I even know how to check that.
Which social media is it on?
It's Instagram originally, and then I don't even know how to unlink it from Facebook. It just automatically posts.
Oh,
Do you have your
no, I didn't. I did not.
How weird. I didn't see any of this. But
I'll say one other thing.
yeah.
I went through my social media accounts and I got rid of a lot of people I don't care about before I posted this story. So you are still on it, David.
Oh.
So you're able to see it. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, where's the story? It's not public and you're not my friend.
That's horrible.
Partly because I was posting family pictures and I don't want a bunch of fucking assholes out there seeing that. Anyway.
Oh, forget that. Forget that. We're going right by that comment.
So someone just commented that one of the options for my story was to be about pants. And unfortunately, people didn't vote for a story about pants. So it's just never going to be seen. So.
Oh, wow. So CB Actor Traveler follows you and he's a huge fan of your story.
So my question is, was this the only story you're ever going to publish?
You know what? That was the idea. And what I might do is I might post a poll tomorrow to see if people like the story, and then I'll decide from there.
Well, someone just said something about your story.
Oh, somebody thought my story was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's nice.
Moving on. This week's gold star goes to
Cyrus Vance Jr. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. We say it at the same time and it sounds really exciting.
It is really exciting.
David, explain.
Well, it probably will come to nothing because nothing good ever happens. But Cyrus Vance Jr. is a New York prosecutor who's going after Trump and who brought the charges to the grand jury, hoping that he can get a prosecution of Donald Trump in New York. But we don't know the charges yet because they can't tell us, and we don't know why, which is kind of ridiculous. But
apparently they're criminal now, right?
Yeah, criminal charges in New York.
So that's exciting.
I think as far as I had heard, it's going to be either the Trump organization or the people at the top of the Trump organization, which really is Trump and Trump Jr. and Ivanka, or maybe a middle person that they tell to do things who will get caught. I don't know. We'll see.
And if you listen to this program, you know that we want the entire family to go to prison. So
no one ever called the show a program before. I like it.
Program.
Sounds very official.
It's for all the people you were describing what a story is to.
Anything else before we move forward into our main juicy topic?
No.
All right. If our special guest is here, I'd love to bring him on.
5, 4, 3, 2. Peekaboo, we see you.
Hello, everyone.
Hair's gotten very long.
Yeah, I'm kicking the Nathan Vaughn Edmondson vibe.
No,
long hair over here.
Nathan's hair is longer than my hair now.
Yeah, it appears that way, huh?
Yeah. Welcome. It's good to have you on.
Thank you. It's good to see y'all. Love being on the show once again.
Diehard fans of the show might recognize Crypto Gus was formerly known as Dr. Gus. He's been on the show a couple times talking about diet and nutrition and how to be a better person, but we don't want to talk about that anymore. We're talking about getting rich with cryptocurrency.
Sounds like Crypto Gus has pivoted.
Yes, big time. COVID sort of brought a lot of things to to the forefront in the healthcare industry, as you can imagine. And I'm running away.
Running away screaming.
Yeah.
Cool.
With heavy pockets.
Real okay, so let's get into it. So you started mining cryptocurrency in 2019, and you've been investing since 2020. So what has been your experience so far?
Yeah, it's a wild, wacky world. I can tell you guys that. I mean, it's like nothing out there. There's a lot of really great people in it that are super smart and really trying to make cryptocurrency and blockchain the future. And those who are the people that I try to associate myself with. There's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of people trying to take your money, trying to grab your wallet, get access to your crypto wallet, and do all kinds of scams. And it's where you got to be on your tippy toes. You got to be street smart about it for sure.
I have so many questions, but I feel like we need to start at the beginning. Like, what the hell is this thing we're talking about? Are you able to explain it? Because no one's been able to explain it to me in a way that
like what you want blockchain explained, or cryptocurrency, or what?
No, what is any of it?
So the way Bitcoin, if you want to talk about Bitcoin, and sorry, Nathan, that you bought Bitcoin at 68K or whatever, because it's like at 38 right now.
I think it was like 58 or something like that.
Okay, so you didn't buy the top, so you'll be okay. Don't worry. Experts say Bitcoin will eventually be $1 million of Bitcoin. So
whoa,
you're okay. So if we're talking about Bitcoin, it's based on blockchain technology, and basically what blockchain technology is just like a ledger. It's a digital ledger of transactions. So, and then those transactions are verified. All right. So I was trying to think of a real world example. So, and this is what I came up with. Hopefully it makes sense. So David and I decide that we're going to make a deal. All right. David is going to give me a seashell, and I'm going to give him $1.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah. All right. Where do we choose to go in the middle of Wembley Stadium? Big, huge stadium over in England, right? But there's nobody there. So David gives me the seashell. I give him $1. Later on down the line, I say, David never gave me a seashell. All right. David's like, oh, yeah, no, I gave you a seashell. No, you didn't. All right. So there was nobody to see it. There was nobody to verify that, right? It's David against me. Each man for his own. All right. In blockchain technology, that whole stadium is filled. All right. Everybody sees David give me the seashell. I give him $1. All right. That way, it's a verified transaction. If I go to David and say, you didn't give me the seashell, he's like, dude, we did it in front of 100,000 people. Everybody saw you give me the seashell. So in the real world, that's like what a blockchain is. It's a transaction like that. Okay. And sort of a group of transactions like that equal a block. Cool.
A really solid comment we got.
So you're right. There are scammers out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Somebody click on that link and report back to us. Let us know what you find out.
Oh, he signed in and then signed out just to do that.
Yes,
wow. Thank you.
And for our listeners, the comment that David posted was someone trying to get us to buy followers.
We've got plenty.
So
yeah, Aaron just went viral, but go ahead, Gus. Sorry.
Does that kind of make sense of like a verified transaction?
What is the transaction like? What are you getting and what are you giving?
You could be giving anything within a blockchain. I mean, there's so much technology now that it could be an NFT, a non-fungible token. It could be a Bitcoin. It could be.
Wait. What is cryptocurrency? Let's go back to that.
Well, cryptocurrency is based on the blockchain, right? So it's all verified transactions, again, built on this blockchain that allows assets to move back and forth, but from peer to peer, all right, from person to person without a centralized bank or entity or whatever. So it's all from one person to another.
You say
when you're talking about cryptocurrency,
you say assets, but there's no physical asset. It's a digital.
It's a digital asset, but it's you put in you can't, unless you actually mine, you can buy cryptocurrency with US dollars, with cash. And then you can move those currencies around and buy different currencies, and you can buy, sell, trade, and you can stake them, you can wrap them, you can do all these different things with them. But yeah, it's you're just pretty much you know, I mean, your money is not real either, right? It's not real. Your stocks aren't real. Your credit card transactions are all based on like theory, kind of, and like what they say the value of something is and how much money there is.
That is true. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
I think that's the weird part about cryptocurrency, because, like you said, even the American dollar bill is just like it's just a piece of paper. Like the actual dollar bill is just paper that represents something of value, and that's what Bitcoin is. It's just in a different form than what we're not used to. You had mentioned that everyone sees you making these transactions and that they're verified, but isn't part of it's out there, but isn't part of the attraction of cryptocurrency is that you can be anonymous, completely anonymous for these transactions? You
can be anonymous for sure. You are associated with your wallet number. If you're a wallet holder, or, you know, if you just have like an account that doesn't necessarily have a wallet, you still have an account number. So if somebody wanted to go back and search for you in the blockchain, they could, and people do this, they could find out what transactions you've made and and what the value of those were and who you were making those transactions with. But you're right. It's not necessarily going to be tied to you, but it could be. There's a lot of cryptos that are like that are like, they call it KYC verified. So it's know your customer, which means that, you know, it's a serious vetting like process to go through to prove that you are a real person and you are only one person, and then you're granted that asset.
Is there a like centralized power controlling this?
No, and that's one of the beauties of it.
So, like, how is just like some robot doing it somewhere?
I think this is a good time to explain what mining is, because that's confusing, right?
Well, somebody
somebody
had to have created it, but they're not in charge of it anymore. It kind of just is like a artificial intelligence that just runs with it.
Absolutely, yeah. So once a blockchain, a platform, a token, whatever you want to call it, like, is created, you know, once this program is created and developed, it will just run on its own. So Bitcoin just runs on its own, and it always has ever since Satoshi Nakamoto made it. All right. So after that first block, the program is like within that block, and then it just sort of goes. So the way that mining works is all of these transactions, once this block is completed, it spits out what's called a hash. Okay. Now, for a second block to get next to that block or get on top of it, however you want to envision it, that next block has to meet the hash of the previous block. And once those hashes meet together, then it becomes a chain, part of the chain. Okay. So to meet that hash, Bitcoin anyway becomes more and more and more difficult, because it's a proof of work type chain, okay, which requires more and more computing power as the blockchain gets longer and longer and longer and longer and more complex. back in the early days of Bitcoin, you could have mined 1,000 Bitcoin in a day, maybe even more than that, just on your laptop. You know, now they have these big farms, these big yield farms of computing power that they're trying to get a Bitcoin, because now Bitcoin's worth, at this point in time, it's worth $40,000, $38,000.
So this big farm, is this the matrix where they will eventually harvest humans and use the power to power the the energy for the mining?
I mean, yeah, I've seen movies like that. Why not?
Good idea, yeah.
I just need to pause really quick and apologize to everyone who wanted to listen on Facebook and couldn't because David's in Facebook jail. So our live episode is not going on Facebook right now. But I just post a YouTube link, so hopefully people can sign in that way. So we're
thank you.
A few less engagements than we normally do.
And I'm glad you stopped right there, because I just got a text from one of our listeners. I don't know why they didn't comment on the thing, saying, "Oh my God, I'm so confused." To just in one sentence, can you just kind of say what it is?
What is, like, what is? It's not a one sentence. It's not a one sentence explanation. You know, this is a very complex, like,
that
subject,
helps, actually.
and it's new.
Can I try to digest what I just learned and see if I can? Okay, so cryptocurrency is a digital form of money that was created by someone that is kind of just like a program that runs on its own, and it like spins around and it like creates currency, and people can buy it through some programs. Great, I can do this better. Maybe I can't.
So
that was really good.
We need to clarify some things then, I suppose. All right, you guys are asking like pretty not say complicated questions, but like say, oh, what is blockchain? Like, I'm explaining blockchain to you. Say, well, is it a cryptocurrency? Yes, it's a cryptocurrency. Is blockchain a non-fungible token? Yes. Can it be your thumbprint? Yes. Blockchain could be your thumbprint. Is it going to be your thumbprint? Is it going to be your identity eventually? Yeah, it is.
But you're saying, you're throwing around terms like non-fungible token, and the three of us are like,
that's just an example of a usage of cryptocurrency. Yeah.
All right, here. This is what I'm gonna try to regurgitate and let's see if I got it. So cryptocurrency is just a made up currency that people come up with, and they give it a certain value, and then it gets its real value when other people buy into it. So like, it only has value if people want to buy it. If people don't buy it, it drops.
Correct.
So it's just like the stock market. It's just like the items on the stock market, except there's no company behind it. Like if you buy like AT&T stock, there's a telecommunications company behind it, but with cryptocurrency, there's no company behind it. Did I get it right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And that's for like things that are just used as cryptocurrency. So what you're explaining is more like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, right? Those are like our currencies, or actually that's pretty much the only usability of them, is just, for transactions. So like monetary, like buying, like buying things.
So I was going to ask this later, but I'm going to ask it now since it came up. What are the most realistic uses for cryptocurrency other than just investing in them? Like, are we really ever going to trust them enough to use them to buy things?
You were breaking up a little bit there. Can you ask that again?
Oh.
He was just asking them if people would ever trust them enough to buy things, but that's already happening now.
No, I mean widespread, to actually use them as a currency, because most people I know have like three of the people here have never used them to buy anything.
Yeah.
Like we've invested in them, but we've never used them to buy anything. And even just what's his name, the richest man in the world, just said you can't buy my cars with Bitcoin anymore. So
Right.
what I'm saying is like, what are the realistic uses of crypto?
Of cryptocurrency in general, you know, I mean, it's a little different when you're talking about blockchain versus cryptocurrency. So right now, there's not a whole lot of like, if you go out and about, you know, in your regular normal day, you're not going to really be able to find a whole lot of usage for it. To spend, unless there's a particular, you know, vendor or whatever, or store that will accept something like a Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Doge. And there are some that are out there. You know, you've got to find them, and I'm sure there's some website that can point you to places that will accept cryptocurrency. But you know, a big push right now in the crypto space is decentralized finance, and that's sort of where your money is working for itself and is actually being put towards like loans and borrowing and lending and things that a normal bank would do. It's for the you know, it's people driven. It's a community that does it. There's no bank that's taking a big slice of the pie. You're not getting 0.04% interest on your savings account. You know, you're getting, if you're putting certain tokens in, you're getting 200% APY on your investment, because there's no bank sucking out everybody's money.
That's where my next big question comes from. So you put money into some space and you buy some cryptocurrency, and then you want to cash out. Like, who's giving you that money? Like, you want to cash out and get, like, you know, American currency back. Mm-hmm. Where is that money being stored, and who's giving it back to you?
There's lots of exchanges out there. I would say the ones that I use are Coinbase and Binance, and they will give you your fiat back into your account.
Okay, but are they taking a cut of that?
Oh yeah, they always take a cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good port or place for me to answer this question, which is for me to explain my Bitcoin experience. So Coinbase, yeah, you mentioned that it's I'm looking to see, yeah, Binance. So there's these exchanges where you can go, the platforms online, basically, where you can sign up. They do the KYC, where know your customer, you give them some information about yourself, whether it's Social Security or whatever. This is where you connect your card so that you can pay into the system to buy Bitcoin or whatever coin or whatever you're going to buy. So my experience is I've heard about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a long time. I've never purchased any. I know some people who have purchased a lot and done well with it, and some people who haven't done well. But so I would say it was maybe 2 weeks ago, right before Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live, and Dogecoin was like getting all the rage. Like there was a lot of news about that, right? People were talking about how much, because it was like, you know, it was like 2 cents or something at one point. You know, it was like nothing, and then it jumped, right? Yeah. And it was so I was like, oh, I'm going to buy some of that. So I joined Coinbase. Signed up on Coinbase. I actually signed up on Coinbase for something else entirely. Someone was selling an NFT, and I don't even want to open those can of worms with the non-fungible tokens, which is just basically like proof that you own a digital piece of artwork or something,
doesn't
right?
Make any sense.
So bizarre. But you are the official owner, so these are going for like ridiculous amounts of money. So it was like someone was talking about some NFTs they were selling. So anyway, I joined Coinbase, and then I started hearing about this Dogecoin thing. And it was what started as a joke, but then it started acquiring some value. And people were saying that Elon Musk had tweeted about it, like the week leading up to his Saturday Night Live performance, and it started to climb. And they were like, if he says something about it on Saturday Night Live, it's going to go through the roof. So I signed up for I was on Coinbase, but you can't actually buy that coin there. You have to do it through Binance, I believe. So I signed up for that. And it took them a week to verify my account. which was
Yeah.
good because on Saturday afternoon when I signed up, I think Dogecoin was 75 cents a coin. And then it dropped to like 30 cents, like very quickly over the next day. And also Elon Musk just has so much power over this stuff where he announced, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago, that you were going to be able to use Bitcoin to buy his vehicles, and Bitcoin went through the roof. And then just this last week or whatever, he said that they're not going to do that. And it's everything crypto has dropped pretty significantly recently, if I'm correct. You can clarify that for us, Gus. But I had one. This is leading to a question for you, but I lost my train of thought. So that's basically my experience with crypto so far.
Well, it plummeted because people were calling out Elon Musk because Teslas are supposed to be good for the environment, and Bitcoin or blockchain, I don't know, whatever the word is that we're agreeing on, that we're talking about, is terrible for the environment. It uses a shit ton of electricity and power and is going to destroy the planet, apparently.
Well, maybe.
Just real quick, I think one of the risks about using it, what seems so weird about using it to buy things, is how volatile it is right now. So, or how much it's changed. So the guy who created Bitcoin, isn't there some story of him buying a pizza with one token back in the day? And now that one pizza would be worth like $6 million or something like that. Something crazy like that.
Yeah,
like
I could tell that story.
Oh, please.
David, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, leading up to this, Nathan actually wrote in an email about how bad it was for the environment. And I thought he was kidding, because I thought it was just mined on a computer. How could it be bad for the environment? But then I looked into it, and it's true. It uses up a lot of electricity. But, Nathan, it doesn't use up as much as mining metals, and it doesn't flood the environment with poisons, but it still does use a lot. But go ahead, Gus. Go.
Okay. So I want to say a couple of things. There was a bunch of like news. So crypto is very volatile, and it's based on sentiment mostly, is a reason for the volatility. Now, different cryptos have actual more usability than others, but that's a whole different thing. Like somewhere we call them shit coins. So there are just, it's like a meme coin, and it doesn't really do anything. There's like, can't even use it in the crypto space. It just like exists and people buy and sell it. And those are crap for the most part. And so it is very sentiment driven. So when Elon Musk, who only holds 0.18% of all Bitcoin that's ever been created, so he's a very small holder. He's not a whale by any sense of the word. When he makes a comment or goes on Saturday Night Live and the market moves like that, there's got to be something else going on, right? So at that same time, when he said this thing about the energy, China had, put their foot down again, no big surprise, saying that Bitcoin, that the mining, they're going to cut back on the mining, and they weren't going to allow their banks to fund any cryptocurrency transaction. Okay, cool. Well, guess what? Back in 2020, the only thing I could find was like midway through 2020. Midway through 2020, $50 billion worth of cryptocurrency was transferred out of Chinese wallets. So you don't think they knew that they knew this was going to happen, right? They know how their government runs and what the deal is. So they were having the foresight to to move their assets. But then the government says something that catches fire at the same time as Elon Musk is doing all his song and dance. And then what really happened with the crash is that a bunch of Bitcoin whales, they sort of did like a planned attack, because people were monitoring their wallets. I was saying earlier that you could monitor wallets and you can take a look and see where the money is coming and going. Well, these wallets sold billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin almost all at the same time. All right. So what does that do? everybody freaks out, says, "Oh my God, look at all these big sales coming in. We got to get out." So it just drives the price down, 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 bottoms out at whatever, it hit like $28,000 or something like that. Well, guess what? All those wallets that had previously sold then started buying up the Bitcoin again. And now you see those wallets grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Which is what financial people do with the real dollar and the real money and real stocks. That's what has been happening since the beginning of banks. That's what financial people do. I want to say that I think I think the world is having a hard time with cryptocurrency because we don't understand it. It's almost exactly like the money system we have now, because the dollar up until the 70s was based on gold. But now, do you know what it's based on? You know what the government even says it's based on now? Do you guys know?
Like cat litter? At this point, we just
based on debt?
No, what they say is it's based on the trust of the American people. So it's the same thing as cryptocurrency. It's based on trust. All of the currencies around the world. I think we're having a hard time with it because we don't have anything physical to take into our hands, and we can't go get it. Like, we feel like we can go get it in the bank, if our dollars are in the bank. But we have to realize
that way.
No, totally. And we have to realize that our money, all of our money that's in the bank, our banks use our money in ways we have no idea, and doing things we have no idea with, and things we probably wouldn't agree with either. Our assets are being used. And I think that's the point of cryptocurrency, right? Is to take out that banker who's doing things with our money, correct?
Correct. And you know where your money is going when you have crypto.
There's still someone that's making money off of your transactions.
Yeah, they're making money off our transactions, but they can't use our cryptocurrency to fund things. Like the money you have, let's say you have $10,000 in the bank and it's just sitting there. The bank takes that money and funds other things with it, and it moves it around. It doesn't just sit there. Your bank is using that money.
But as long as I get my money when I need it, it kind of doesn't matter, right?
But they're funding things like anti-abortion laws and like fracking and whatever. They're funding all kinds of things you don't know, and taking down net neutrality. They're funding things that you might not want to happen in this world.
Aaron, I'd like to challenge you.
Yeah, please.
To go to the bank tomorrow, all right, and ask them to close out your account and give you the cash.
Well, that's not going to be a problem because I don't have much money in the bank.
You might be surprised on how much little money they have and how very unwilling they are to give you your cash.
I can't really speak to how I know this, but you're absolutely right about that, Gus. And people who have to cash out stuff on a regular basis sometimes have to delay it a couple days.
Yeah.
Because there just isn't money in the bank.
Nope.
They're
Where's
using
that money? I don't know. Did you know that 35% of all the US dollars ever printed were printed in the last year?
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So what do you think the value of the dollar is going to be in? I mean, what is it now? Look at the prices of everything. There's no value to a dollar.
So when you print more money, the value so it's inflation, right? That's inflation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But everything, so inflation versus deflation, right? So we have like the whole idea is that we can, the economy is going to keep growing so that whatever assets you have become more valuable. But that doesn't seem like that's what's happening, right?
Right. That's not happening. But in crypto, that happens.
How?
There's things called deflationary legalizing pot. Yeah, oh yeah. There's deflationary tokens that so Bitcoin is an inflationary token. There will always be, not always, but there will be more and more Bitcoin until 21 million Bitcoin are mined. There will always be more Doge. There's no cap to the amount of Doge that will ever be mined.
Who created that cap? Who created that?
The 21 million cap? That's in the original program, in the original contract that was written. Yeah, but they call it like the program, the contract. Okay. Yeah.
My other question, this might be too difficult to answer. So there's all these computers that are mining and mining and mining. Mm-hmm. Where are they? And who's in charge of them? Like I can't wrap my head around, like, there has to still be someone like pulling strings somewhere, because there has to be physical space where there's computers and like someone's paying the electric bill. Like, how is this working?
Yeah, I mean, there's computers all over the world that are mining all kinds of cryptocurrencies, and some are easier. You know, the ones that I mine are on my cell phone. There are some that require these huge energy sources to mine Bitcoin.
I think this is also just a basic question about how computers work and servers, right?
Can you explain how computers work?
Well, it's kind of like, so, I mean, it takes up, you need to have computer servers set up to like the cloud. The cloud, we talk about the cloud is like, oh, you just upload it and it goes into space or something.
Yeah.
Right? But it's actually going to like these servers that are set up places, right? Is that crypto?
Well, like when you're putting something in the cloud, I don't know where the cloud stuff goes. You got me on that.
Anyway.
Wait, I do.
Just like the mining thing. So you can do it on your phone, which I think is kind of interesting. But I saw some video on, I don't know, TikTok or something that was, you can build like an intense mining machine, but you have to spend like $2,000 to $6,000 to create these like things that you can keep in your house, and it just runs and like mines. So that basically it's just creating code. It's just creating code, right?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what, pretty much, essentially, yeah.
That's what mining is. It's just like finding Bitcoins in the digital space.
No, it's like, remember I was talking about that, where the hash meets the hash?
Yeah.
At the end of one blockchain to the beginning of another, you have to figure out that code. So this code here has to match this code. You have to figure out this code with your computer, with the ability, with all your like, I can't think of the word that they call it, your computing power, or whatever they call that is.
So does it take skill to do this? Like, do you have to know, like, understand the technology, or can anyone do it?
You have to understand the technology of mining for sure. And there's a lot of information out there that you can just go onto their GitHub. GitHub, is that the one? I think where they just have like all this info and tells you how to set up your computer to mine whatever coin you're interested in mining.
Now, can you invest without mining, or is investing mining?
Well, Nathan invested without mining.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say that both Gus and I invited Aaron and Nathan to mine on our phones. I forget what it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Pi.
But they both were like, let's wait and see, which I understand, because I just did it. Gus told me to do it, so I just did it. And then when Aaron said, let's wait and see, I was like, maybe that might be a good idea. But I don't care. What do I care?
I just like, I would love to understand everything a little bit better before I were to invest time and energy and money, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's funny, though, because the same questions you ask about cryptocurrency, nobody knows about real money either. Like, no, you don't know where it comes from. You don't know who's dipping their hands into it. You don't know who controls it. But I'm not putting you down, because I don't know either. Nobody.
Yeah.
There's some basic, like, train that you can follow. Like, you know where it's printed. You know who controls it. You don't really know what they do with it, but it's like the systems are at play that you're familiar with. Doesn't mean that they're not corrupt or it's a great system. It's just like we're used to it. So I don't have the questions, and it's not technology.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Like, this is, people, Bitcoin's been around for 9 years now or whatever. It is still really, really early in cryptocurrency era, and the decentralized finance is just now starting to like, get a little usage, and who knows how long it's going to be before like mass adoption happens. I think the first credit card was like Diners Club in 1950, and there wasn't like mass adoption of credit cards until the 80s. So it was a solid 30 years
Wait, what
before
now?
credit cards were even accepted.
That's a good point. That's a really good.
Wait, the credit cards were widely accepted in the 60s and 70s.
No, sir.
What are you talking about? I was around. I saw it. I took my mom's in the 60s to go buy clothes for high school. Wait, I had the card and I had to put it in my wallet and I had to.
I'm shaking my head because you were not in high school in the 60s, David.
All right. Wait. I want to just backtrack because our users are saying stuff. Does anyone know why this guy Eric Carpentier said legalizing pot? Question mark.
I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's what's interesting to me about the legalization of pot is it's happening at a time where it's like, how else can we make money? How else can we like make something that was that was illegal and was, people on the corner or criminals, selling and making money with pot. But if we make it legal, then it can go into the system and inject a whole bunch of money that way.
So he's saying, so that's a good point.
So I think that it's kind of like helping prop up our economy by like, okay, we'll just make pot legal and people will spend billions of dollars on pot and we'll feel like we'll just keep the engine of the economy going a little bit longer.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
In this comment, it adds to the blockchain ledger. That's what mining does, right? So basically you're just adding more blockchains to the ledger. So you're like writing out more scripts basically.
So if you don't mine, you're buying ones that already exist as opposed to finding them through like these weird coding.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She always puts the word weird onto everything.
I don't know. Listen, there's like a couple major questions we have to get to, and we're kind of running low on time.
Hit 'em.
One of them is going to be, and whatever you're comfortable sharing, Gus.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten with your investments? You don't have to give numbers if you don't want to.
I'm a long-term holder on pretty much everything. Except I trade some shit coins here and there. And just like scalp them, in it. And then when that's what, like you buy it and then a short time later, you take it out. So you like watch the chart and it pumps, it goes up to, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever, your like take profit area is, and you're out. I don't do that with the projects that I'm in, mostly because I'm a believer and I do my research, and I'm holding long term because I believe in the value and the usability of cryptocurrency going forward. Like I think it's going to be around, and I think this is early. They say one of the tips, I guess, for anything is to get in early. If you had gotten in AT&T, or if you had gotten in Amazon, or you got in Tesla and you got in early, you're doing pretty damn good these days. You're trying to get in Tesla now, you're paying anywhere between $600 and $750 per stock. When at one time they were like $10.
So are you happy with the money that you've made so far?
I haven't made any money, just a little money, but it's all pretend money. So I wouldn't say, because I'm not taking any profits other than those little couple of things. I'm investing, and I think the investments are accruing nicely, and it's good to see what like could be, right? But like I'm not taking money out because I'm in long term. I'm trying to retire on this, and whenever they let me.
Okay.
Cool. And I think you already answered this, but why did Bitcoin drop to a 3-month low last week? Is it because of all the things you said, China and?
Yeah, it was China. It was Elon, sort of to use as a catalyst. These like big whales did an attack all at once.
Okay. So yeah, we're kind of backed up.
Tell me
If someone wants to read that comment,
Crypto
then we-
mining is created to remove the need for a decentralized server.
Centralized.
Or for a centralized server. Anyone with a computer can mine, which distributes the source of truth, trust among all the miners. Look at that.
Yeah, very well said, Brendan.
yes, that was Brandon Sheehan. He's a crypto genius too.
That was going to be my next question to Crypto Gus, is what crypto would you advise beginners to invest in first? Like where would we start if we wanted to get into this?
Great question. So here's what I would recommend, that you do your due diligence and figure out what type. I see your faces.
Tell us.
We want to be able
See
to
your faces.
when it goes belly up, man.
So okay, so here I'm into DeFi. I've been into crypto space for a while. DeFi is for me where it's at, and where the new cool shit is happening. You
What
know,
is that?
like
Is that Bitcoin?
no, Bitcoin is the Model T.
Okay.
Like it spits out all this nasty stuff. It's really slow. Like it's not really usable. It just kind of sits there. But Bitcoin could be a good one to get in first. You know, I would say go to Coinbase. And the ones that they allow you to buy, they kind of do more vetting. There's 10,000 cryptocurrencies, guys. Okay, so if you go to Coinbase, you can only buy 25 or something like that of them. They tend to do better vetting, and you know those assets are more likely to be around for a longer time. It's probably less going to be less risky. I would also like to say, I meant to say this in the beginning of the show, but none of this is financial advice, and I would recommend that you go talk to your financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor.
Would a traditional financial advisor advise people to do this, or is this too off the beaten path?
They often, they'll often give they say, here you're like 10% high risk in your portfolio. And then how do you want to manage that 10% high risk? If you want to manage it all in crypto, then, I'm sure some managers would say, okay, that's fine. Others might not want you to do that. I don't know.
I got a little piece of information from a financial advisor, but I'm not a financial advisor either. So this is
there you go.
Something I heard, right? So you can go to Coinbase and play around directly, but there's also stocks out there that just in the regular stock market that you can purchase that are kind of investing in these new technologies. So
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, so there's ways to invest in whether it's cryptocurrency or electric cars. Like I forget what the company was that just creates these funds, basically. That's all about new technology. So there's ways to invest in this stuff, kind of like on the outside in a way.
For sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot like that. I know a couple stock tickers are Mara, MARA, Riot, RIOT. There's Coinbase has its own stock now. There's some Canadian companies that are in the game, BBKCF. I don't know. There's just a couple of them like off the top of my head that I know.
So Bitcoin isn't your primary go-to. Like you're not long-term going into Bitcoin hard.
I mean, I'm holding my Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin. I'm holding it for sure. But that's not my baby. DeFi is my baby. FEG is my baby. A FEG army.
These things
you're into FEG? You're a FEG? You like to FEG?
It's FEG. It's called Feed Every Gorilla. It's in my mind, it's a top-notch DeFi project. It's awesome.
So is that a currency, or you're calling it a project?
Yeah, it's like a decentralized exchange, pretty much. So you can swap tokens and move them in and out of here of that exchange, and hold them in that exchange, and get rewards. So you're getting like your APY that a traditional bank would give you, just at a much higher level.
So to To this Neil Tang who asked, what crypto would you advise beginners to invest in first? Is FAG? You telling him FAG?
It's so hard. Listen, it's so hard
Or
to get. It's very early. If you were an initial investor and wanted to get FAG, it would take you hours and hours and hours of education to learn how to just enter that world and pull the trigger and get that token.
so what you're telling people is that you're not going to give them an exact crypto. You're telling them to go educate themselves, because education is power, and yeah, that is that what you're trying to tell people?
Yeah, and then you have to
We
get
don't
behind it.
we don't like that. We just want quick answers. We want something for nothing.
I think the big question would be, where's a reputable source that people can go to learn about this? Because probably a ton of people, like idiots blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Great question. Go to Coinbase.com. That's a good one. You can get good education in there. And then Binance.us, BINANCE.us. Has a great educational platform as well, and like they'll teach you legit about some things.
Here's the question for you, Crypto Gus. How much, aside from your initial education, how much time do you spend each day buying and selling, or like, I don't know, calling other crypto people?
Go ahead, David.
Well, he's going to do his answer, and then I'm going to tell you the truth. Go ahead.
I mean, multiple hours per day. I'm either reading or I'm listening to Telegram voice chats and learning more about this stuff. And I part of it is because I want to learn for myself. The other part of it is because I really want people to get in on this early. And it's not easy to explain over a podcast. I understand that it's really hard, but there are great resources for everybody out there. If you go into those two sites, you'll be well on your way and get behind a project that makes sense to you, and like you see a future in it, and you could like feel confident on holding it and talking to people about it, and being in on the game.
So basically, we should get our Coinbase, and as soon as we mine some cryptocurrency, we'll be a FEG, so that we'll be able to NFT some crypto.
Yeah, you're missing a couple steps in there, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I just asked Nathan for a divorce.
Listen, I'll walk you through it, bro. I could walk you through it to get some fag.
You're gonna fag off with Nathan?
Is this the same thing as Fago?
No, it's not Fago. Whoop whoop. But they, I see there is something called the Internet Computer Protocol that just came out a couple of weeks ago. And it's called ICP, and people were making ICP jokes about it. Yeah. Juggalo jokes.
You know me, ICP. You know me, ICP. Do you think that eventually cryptocurrencies will be the way of the future, how people will trade and transact?
There's no doubt about it. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
So will national currencies fade away?
No, I mean they're already in they're not going to fade. They're just going to change. So China's already doing their digital currency, and the U.S. has already talked about doing their digital currency. Like Federal Chairman Jerome Powell he's scared. He knows what's happening, and what did he say? I think I wrote down something. Oh yeah, here's a little Federal Chairman Jerome Powell's quote. Says, cryptocurrency may also carry potential risks to those users and to the broader financial system. Yeah, because your system is not built around equality and people making money for each other. Our current system, Jerome Powell, is made for your big banks and your Fed to make all the money. That
Well,
shit stops here.
Yeah, it's interesting with our system where it's like, so it's at least in the United States, it's a capitalist country, but as soon as these, just bailing out the big banks, it's like socialism for these big institutions, right? So it's like you can reap all these profits as you gain money, but as soon as it starts to crash, we like inject all this money in that are the people's money, and then save them and prop them back up. So we've just been propping up institutions for so long. And the whole idea was that, you buy a house and it grows in value. I mean, everyone we've been talking to recently is just talking about how in the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a huge housing price crash. Like that price where real estate is right now is so inflated and so inaccurate. And they've just been like keeping it going, just so that previous generations can continue to earn money.
Right.
Well, I think we're approaching the end of our show. If there's any last minute comments from anyone.
No, people don't care anymore.
I want to make a comment.
Yes,
please.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I know that this is all like new and it's kind of hard to talk about. Even, for me, I'm fairly new to the space. I've been in the game for a while, but like, it's hard to explain. Nice face, David. And it's new and it's kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people to want to get into. And even the initial logo of like the post for this podcast, cryptocurrency, what is it? Like the font that was used invokes fear into people.
That's exactly.
And part of it might be the word crypto, and like, yeah, like that's how you want to write cryptocurrency. We're like it's scary.
I'm glad that you noticed that because that was intentional.
Yeah, and I don't and like I want people to not be scared of this. I want them to learn about it and get educated and ask questions, and like, you could send my email, or I'll comment on the things. Like people can email me or whatever, and I'll talk to people about it and like help them get set up and get into this world, because I really do think it's going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
So how can people find you if they want to contact you?
Oh, you could find me on my Twitter. It's at Doodin1, DOODINONE. That's probably the best way.
And they can join you on your mobile mining adventures.
Oh yeah, you could join me on. Well, David and I are both on Mining Pi, which hopefully will go live in 2022.
Cherry pie, apple pie, lemon meringue.
Oh no, 3.14 pi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then there's a couple other coins that I'm mining. You can join me on those too, but Pi is the one I think probably has the most legs.
So minepi.com.
Wait,
yeah,
will we be able to? Aaron and Nathan, will we be able to trick you guys into mining with us?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
What's it cost to do that?
It cost $3.
Okay.
Free?
$3.
No, $3. You send $3 to me and Gus, and then you can.
No.
I want a seashell in return, though. If I send.
Yeah, we got a seashell.
Oh, I can get you a lot of seashells for $1.
Last comment before we move on here.
Yeah.
A comment I understand a little bit better, so that's good. Thank you. In parentheses, I do know Gus has a great smile.
And who's that from, Nathan? That was from Mrs. Von Edmondson. And CB Actor Traveler says, thanks, Crypto Gus. And he also says, I need a blunt and a nap.
I hear you.
That's kind of what it makes you do. Oh, somebody likes your hair too.
Ooh.
Oh, thanks, Neil. Yeah, man.
Neil Tang.
Wu-Tang. Only a couple more weeks
What?
Baby's gone.
So yes, unfortunately, we were not on Facebook this week. We will hopefully be back when David's out of Facebook jail.
Yeah, and I have so many more questions, but I think cryptocurrency would be good for a series because there's so many more things to ask that we didn't get to that are essential for people to know. But I think that people have to educate themselves, and I think you gave them a good start.
Yep. I think it's important for us to invest in pie and start eating more pie. And then
I love pie.
Some of us can, David, Aaron, and I can learn a little bit more about cryptocurrency. We can do a sequel to this episode.
Yeah, and you know, and it's making some of our listeners need a nap and a blunt. So I feel like we need to do this in small pieces.
Yeah.
A lot to take in.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. This is what we'll do. Crypto Gus, we'll get into it. The three of us will get more into crypto. We'll do a little bit more research. And in a couple months, can we have you back?
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about our experiences and what to do next and where to go and how to guard yourself and all that stuff.
And you could
you got to guard yourself.
And you can make sure to not give us financial advice, but kind of give us financial advice.
Yeah, Crypto Gus, I hope your backdrop is like, I don't know, a mansion next time.
I mean, that's the plan eventually.
Ooh.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Our Facebook page and Instagram account at Unimaginary Friend will have information about our next live stream, which will be in 2 weeks on Facebook and YouTube. We hope. Fingers crossed. Right, David?
Yeah, unless I post more objectionable pictures that weren't objectionable that they found unobjectionable and then said wasn't objectionable. And yeah, Facebook is trying to take us down.
On that note, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Listen, you guys. I do sassy, but I don't do bitchy, bitch.
The Unimaginary Friendcast.
Thanks.